about the race thing. And the more you learn, and then the more you get into the know, and the more you know, and your knowledge is growing, then you start understanding that you have many different species of man and mankind. It's the truth. It just is. And everybody genetically is not the same. Yeah, we keep playing the game. If we keep playing the game of who's better and who's worse and all this different stuff, as opposed to all of the high level, high vibing beings getting together and changing this stuff, then we're going to continue to have a problem. Or people elevating, and then they start getting in it's a lot of different distractions that you can get into to get you off an honest track. But I suggest that the learning aspect. But the thing that I want to talk about today was the post apocalyptic mindset, which is what we live in now. You know what I'm saying? And I always think about this. I think about this all the time, and I always be like, man, yeah, I want to talk about a certain thing. I used to watch one of my favorite movies, and I might watch it tonight. It's an old movie from the 70s, right? And it's called Omega Man. And basically, the gist of the story, there was a virus that affected the Earth, and it killed everybody off except for a certain amount of people weren't affected, but it was a certain amount of people that survived it, but were still living. But they were they got all messed up and sick. They eyes and their skin changed, all this different stuff, right? But to make it long story short, I always thought it was crazy when I saw these people, the people that was the bad guys in the story was these people that had mutated or whatever from the virus, right? But these people were so twisted in their belief system, and they were like worshiping the creator, or what they perceived to be the creator, right? So much so, but they were given a twisted perception of it and what they were supposed to be doing, right? And there's a certain part of the movie when they're like worshiping, what they perceived as God, and then they show like a rocket. I think that this was an Omega Man, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I think this was an Omega Man, right? And the rocket came up because Charlton Heston played in a couple like end of the world type movies, like Planet of the Apes and Omega Man and all that. But I'm certain it's Omega Man. But it's a certain part of the movie you'll see you see a rocket, and it's like a NASA rocket, and the people, they got on these like monk robes and all the hoods and all the different stuff, and they basically praying to the rocket, right? So they worshiping the rocket. So I always kept that in my mind, even way back when I saw this movie, and I always kept it in my mind how people, if they get separated from people who truly know and who truly know what's going on, and they're just ignorant, they can really be fed anything. They can really be fed any story. Especially if it's some type of emotional or physical trauma that they had to deal with before they got to that point, where as though like they ignorant, and then they in a desperate situation, but then somebody come in with the book and they trying to put a fake, false perception of it on the people. So much so that now they worship in the rocket, right? And this is the state that we in now, because the people walking around and got some real stuff with them, but they're not perceiving it correctly, because it's putting them out of alignment. And you got different stuff going on all over the world that I could speak about, but I don't need to speak about, because people they gonna know what I'm talking about. Because if it has anything to do with conflict, then you know about the conflicts and whether they true or false. The conflicts, the stuff that they putting in your mind's eye, in your mind, is these conflicts, right? Okay.